As President Obama arrived to try to dispel some of the growing doubts about his health care reform plans. It's a critical moment for him. For the first time, polls show major slippage in support for his policies.
Hey, Mr. President, how are you?
We caught up with the president backstage at a town meeting held at Shaker Heights High School. And if you thought the grinding, high-stakes health care debate was getting to him, well, it doesn't look like it.
You're really betting the presidency on this thing.
No,
you don't think so?
No, I think that's how you guys like to dramatize these issues so that the stories get on TV. But what I do think is that the country has to reform its healthcare system, or else not only are you going to continue to have people really going through a hard time, but we're also going to see a continuing escalation of our budget problems that can't get under control.
But you don't think that there's some grain of truth in what Senator Mintz said, which is that this is really your Waterloo. You've got to win it here.
No. I think America has to win it here.
But today, America, or talk, radio, cable, TV, water cooler America, seemed distracted. A fresh controversy was on the boil.
I agree with the president saying that the cops did act stupidly.
Everyone, it seemed, was talking about the arrest in Cambridge, Massachusetts of the eminent scholar Henry Louis Gates at his own home. He'd locked himself out and police were called when he was observed trying to get inside the front door. At his press conference last night, President Obama, a friend of Gates, spoke out.
I don't know, not having been there and not seeing all the facts, what role race played in that. But I think it's fair to say, number one, any of us would be pretty angry. Number two, that the Cambridge police acted stupidly in arresting somebody when there was already proof that they were in their own home. And number three, what I think we know separate and apart from this incident is that there is a long history in this country of African Americans and Latinos being stopped by law enforcement disproportionately. And that's just a fact.
Last night when you were asked about it.
I had to ask him about all this today, and he was eager to respond.
And you were tough on the Cambridge Police Department. Do you regret saying that the Cambridge police acted stupidly?
You know, I have to say I'm surprised by the controversy surrounding my statement, because I think it was a pretty straightforward commentary that you probably don't need to handcuff a guy, a middle-aged man who uses a cane, who's in his own home. Now, what I do know is, as I said last night, I don't know all the details to the case. I think that I have extraordinary respect for the difficulties of the jobs that police officers do. As I said, them responding was exactly the right thing to do. And my suspicion is that words were exchanged between the police officer and Mr. Gates, and that everybody should have just settled down and cooler heads should have prevailed. That's my suspicion. But I was asked, did it make sense for it to escalate to the levels that it did? And I said, probably not. And that it would have been more sensible for everybody to just, once it was established that Mr. Gates was in his own home, that we should just settle this thing down. So,
you still think the Cambridge police acted stupidly?
Well, you know, Terry, I think this is a classic example at a time when we're struggling about health care, energy. We've got two wars going on, that issues like this get elevated in ways that probably don't make much sense. I think that it doesn't make sense, with all the problems that we have out there, to arrest a guy in his own home if he's not causing a serious disturbance. Now, I don't know all the extenuating circumstances, and as I said, I respect what police officers do. What I can tell, from what I can tell, the sergeant who was involved is an outstanding police officer. But my suspicion is probably that it would have been better if cooler heads had prevailed.
Our president, Barack Obama.